Today we're covering how to edit a video from the very basics, very beginner level, like if you've never touched a video editing software ever in your life. We're going to be going over how to start a timeline. We're going to import our video. We're going to cut down our video to make it a little bit smaller. We're going to add some music, and then finally we're going to export it. That way we can share it with our friends and post it on YouTube or whatever social media you'd like to do it. So we're going to go ahead and open up our DaVinci Resolve program here. In case you're wondering, I'm using the public beta for DaVinci Resolve 17 currently. It doesn't really matter what version you're using, it should all work pretty much the same. So when you open up DaVinci Resolve, the first screen you're going to find is your project list screen. This shows you all of your projects that you have going on. Yours is probably empty or probably near empty. Mine's very full because I have made a lot of videos over the past year in DaVinci Resolve. But you should still see the project up here called Untitled Project. Gives you the name of it, the last time that you modified it, the resolution here, 1920 by 1080, which is standard, probably what you're going to use for all of your videos, and then the frame rate. Don't mind the frame rate, we're going to change that in a second. Okay, so whenever DaVinci Resolve actually loads into the editing program and everything, you're going to end up here on this second tab from the left. This is called the Cut tab. To be honest, I never use it, so we're going to head and move over onto the Edit tab. This is the third one over with the 3 bars and the playhead coming down the middle. Okay, before we get started, we need to kind of go over some of the panels. So here is the DaVinci Resolve program screen. There's 5 different panels that you can go through. There is the Media Pool, the Effects Library, the Video Preview, the Inspector, and the Timeline. And these are kind of your 5 main panels you're going to be working in, so get to know them pretty well. Now we need to go ahead and create our timeline. So we're going to find our footage. You can use the Windows Explorer or whatever icon or program you use to search your computer for videos and apps and everything like that. If you're on Mac, you can use Finder. That's the alternative name that they use. Find your footage. I have mine on a hard drive, and then click, hold, and drag it over into the media pool over here. If it asks you if you want to change your frame rate, for now just hit yes. In the future you're probably going to say no because you're going to have all these super cool settings and everything that you don't want to change, but for now it's totally fine, just hit change. Alright, now to get our video into our timeline, click, hold, and drag from your media pool down into your timeline, and it should appear as this kind of blue boxy thing with a thumbnail on it. I always drag mine to the left to match up with the 00 playhead at the beginning and everything like that. Now we have this 2-minute video in here of us snowblowing the driveway. However, nobody really wants to watch a 2-minute video of kind of nothing, so we're going to go ahead and cut this down into some more highlight style video and make it a little bit easier to watch and everything. So right now we're here on the selection key. Currently I have that set as A as my shortcut key. We're going to go ahead and go to the blade edit mode, which I have set as B for a shortcut, and then we're going to just make a couple cuts into things that I think are really cool. Essentially, this is you cutting wherever, let's say someone's talking, and then they kind of stop for a breath or something like that, or they stop to think. You want to cut that portion out, and then you want to cut again whenever they're talking again, or whenever they're doing their action and everything. So I'm just trying to find all of the highlights of this video. So we've got a couple cuts here, as you can see in our timeline here. Now, to get rid of the excess videos, there's a couple things that you can do. You can either hit the backspace key or the delete key. They both do the same thing essentially, but very different ways. So if you click on the video that you want to get rid of, it'll turn red with this little red outline around it, and you hit backspace, it'll leave this empty space there for you and kind of leave everything else in space, kind of relative floating and everything like that. If you click on a different portion of your video that you want to get rid of and hit delete, it'll get rid of the video and get rid of the empty space and kind of bring everything else over and stuff like that. So there's 2 different ways to do it. If you want to get rid of the empty space, you can also hit delete on that. So click on the empty space, it'll turn kind of this light gray, and hit delete. Some programs like Premiere Pro call this a ripple cut, so that's kind of what I call it. But it just kind of gets rid of all of the empty space. So we're going to go ahead, hit delete again on all of these other empty spaces that we don't want, and shorten down our video a lot. Now you're going to hit Alt and scroll forward, at least for me, and that'll make our timeline kind of zoom in. You can also use the zoom slider up here above the timeline if you so choose. So now we have a shorter video full of like some highlights, let's say, of us snow blowing the driveway. And that's basically it for the video portion. I mean, that's about as simple as you can get, just taking in a video, cutting it up a little bit, and getting rid of the excess video, like dead air time that you don't really want, and stuff like that. So now let's go ahead and bring in some music. Again, use your Windows Explorer to find the file that you want to bring in. Click, hold, and drag it into your media pool. And again, click, hold, and drag down into your timeline. Try and get it onto the 00 mark if you'd like it. So, similar to when you're editing videos, when you edit music and you click on your audio to get rid of it and hit delete, you're going to get rid of a whole big portion of your videos because it's getting rid of all that space that the audio thing took up and everything, and that goes like infinitely up and down, so it will get rid of a whole big chunk that you don't really want. So to do this, what you can do is hit backspace, and it'll leave that big space like we talked about earlier. This time, go up to your magnet above your timeline, and you can just drag this over, and it'll match up with the beginning, and that way you can get rid of that empty space without having to mess up any of your videos. And if you're also worried about using the delete key, maybe you're a little weary against it, that's a really good way to cut down on the space without messing up anything by just randomly hitting delete and everything. Okay, quick little intermission here. My videos don't have any audio, so if yours do and you're looking to get rid of it and have just the music, click on your like video audio, that like linked little two things, go up to your inspector panel, click on the audio tab, and then where it says volume, take that slider and go all the way to the left, and that'll get rid of it, and now you'll have just the music for your videos. Alright, back to the tutorial. With our magnet tool on, we're going to go to the end of our video and hit delete, because if you notice, we have about 16 seconds of video and like 2 minutes of audio. Essentially, this turns into a 2-minute long video with 16 minutes of video and then like a minute and a half of just black nothingness that you don't really want. So we're going to go ahead, hit backspace, and then we're going to zoom back in. Alright, so now we have our video with some music and everything. We're going to go ahead now to our deliver tab. It's the little rocket. And this is where you render out your video, make it, you share it with your friends. You can click on any of these typical ones up here: YouTube, Vimeo, Twitter. H.264 Master is kind of more like a custom one, so when you get more into video editing, you can use that one to make certain changes and everything like that. But we're going to go ahead and hit on YouTube. And for the format, I always change it to MP4. That's just out of preference and everything like that. File name, we're going to name it Snowblower Movie. And then for our file location, just go into our finished videos and stuff like that. And then we're going to go ahead and hit add to render queue and hit render all, and you're done. You have now rendered your first video. It'll take some time depending on how fast your computer is to finish outputting the video and stuff like that. Alright, so now it's finished rendering and stuff like that. We can go ahead and bring that up, find it in your Windows Explorer, in your file location, and you can watch it. Here is mine currently, and that's about it. That is creating a timeline, importing your videos, edit your videos, import and edit your music, and then rendering and sending off to wherever you want to put your video at, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, just texting it to a friend, wherever. There is one other important thing that we need to do before we finish. Go back to your edit tab and just hit Control S for me, and you can save it as whatever you want, like Snowblower Movie. That way if you ever want to come back to it and you want to change something, or you want to see how you made an edit, always save your projects, and especially if it's a really long one, and if your program crashes in the middle of it, you're kind of out of luck and have to restart from the very beginning, which we don't really want to have that happen. Okay, well, thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you have any more video editing questions or things you'd like to learn, leave it in the comments section down below. And if you enjoyed watching the video, hit subscribe and maybe even tell a friend. Other than that, that's a wrap, and I'll see you guys next time.